welcome to another edition of the Traction Reaction Podcast. I'm Zautke, and joining us on Zoom, yes, it is two-time Indy 500 champion Unser Jr., and welcome again to the show.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Pretty cool kind of being out in the public again. I mean, with the pandemic and everything, last year was such a mess. How did Al survive the pandemic last year?
By just staying home and being smart. I went out, put the mask on, all that kind of stuff. So it was easy. It wasn't,
getting all those projects done.
Yeah, exactly.
This year, you've been out with Mike Lashman, who we'll be talking to soon. Vintage Indy Registry, doing a lot with them. You were in St. Louis doing go-kart stuff. Does that take you back to your childhood when working with the go-karts and your dad and doing that kind of stuff?
Well, yeah, this last weekend was, it was the Quincy Grand Prix at the park. And so there was like over 400 go-karters there. And so, yeah, it definitely took me back to when I started racing, was in a go-kart. And so, it was fun, and it was a great weekend for everybody. The weather was fantastic, and they took it serious. They were out there racing hard.
With Road America coming up, of course, one of your favorite tracks, had an issue there. It was in the rain in '86. You had the issue by the Billy Mitchell Bridge. One of the most exciting tracks out there. What's your favorite memory of Road America?
I really don't have one. If there would be one, it would be in 1994. We locked up, we being Marlboro Team Penske and the team locked up the championship at Elkhart Lake. That was the only thing I ever wanted Elkhart. I wanted to win there so bad, and 1985 I was leading the race and spun in the rain and broke my leg, and then came back in '86, crashed again in the rain. Then in 1996, leading the race with just to go up at the end of the back straightaway. All I had to Canada corner. All I had to do was make the right, made it up the hill for the checkered, and going down that straightaway, the engine blew. So, I mean, I was leading in the Can-Am car in 1982, and an input shaft broke. I was there with Dal Holbert in the Lowenbach Porsche, and I had a brake rotor explode getting into turn one. It was the one racetrack that, as far as I'm concerned with, it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway of permanent road courses in America. That's what Road America is. I wanted to win there so bad throughout my career, and something would always happen where I wouldn't even lead in the last lap. I just never completed it. So,
talking with Al Unser Jr. on the Traction Reaction Podcast. He'll be up at Road America July 9th through the 12th, along with the vintage Indy cars at the Rev Grand Prix. Should be a lot of fun. Well, one race I did want to talk to you. This race is now on YouTube. It's 1982 Riverside. That was your first race with Forsyth Racing in that March. Talk about taking to like a duck to water. It seemed you don't even look like it. Seemed like you're how old? You were about 20 in that race. Yeah, and you were quick right out of the box. What's your main memories from that race at Riverside?
I think really the main thing about that Riverside race, it was my first IndyCar race. My dad was there. First practice session before the practice started, Dad came by and I'm sitting on the wall. And I'm just staring at the IndyCar because, I had never driven one. And so this is going to be the first time I ever drive one. And so we go into, he sits on the wall next to me and he goes, "You okay?" And I said, yeah, I'm okay. And he goes, he felt it. He felt that I was nervous. He goes, "Look, it's just a race car. That's all it is. So just go out and just drive it as a race car, because that's all it is." And once my dad said those words to me, I went, "Oh, okay, well then I'll just drive it like I drive all my other race cars." And so it was the best advice that he could give me. Just he calmed me down right then and there. And so we went out and just did what we do. So
Talking with Al Unser Jr. is going to be up at Road America with the Rev Grand Prix, of course, the Indy cars and the vintage Indy cars. And Al, what's the thing you're looking most forward to this year?
Yeah, I think the country's reopening. You know, we've done a lot of traveling, and everybody's starting to realize that that there's the light at the end of the tunnel, and that we're real close to the end of the tunnel, and so you know, life's starting to get back to normal. I'm a driver coach for Future Star Racing, which is we race in SCCA Formula 4 and FR. And so we've got a couple cars in there. In the F4 class, Chloe Chambers, a 16-year-old little girl that has all the talent in the world, and she's been doing fantastic. In the FR side, it's Ernie Francis Jr., who's a multi-champion in the Trans Am series. And so he's getting his feet wet in the single seat open wheel car. So you know, I love teaching these kids and young adults how to go out and race, and really all I'm doing is passing on what my father taught me. You know, so it's really good, and it helps us all.
Well, we certainly appreciate you spending time with us today, and look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks here at Road America. June 18th on a Friday, IndyCar practice opens up. And then with Saturday, of course, June 19th, and the race on June 20th. And mixed in there will be the vintage Indy cars. So come on out to Road America. Not only a fantastic track, Indy cars should be a lot of fun, but also seeing those old vintage Indy cars too. And we'll have more updates on that on the Traction Reaction podcast. Al, thank you so much for taking time out. We look forward to seeing you again.
You got it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Al.